We're witnessing a change in an old order. So the multilateral order is going down, and we're looking at some kind of a multipolar transactional world and trying to understand it. So I think we should probably focus on issues, substance. So, with Trump, we need to focus on peace in Ukraine or peace in the Middle East. With someone else, we might want to focus on climate change. So just take it step by step.
But when the other side is or your protagonist or ally is somebody who is quite prepared to try to normalize the abnormal, such as the Greenland issue or with Canada, are you at risk of not being resolute in the face of this?
I think you have to combine values and interests. So we agree that we have shared values, focus on those, and we agree that we have shared interests. I think sometimes with President Trump, who's done a lot of good things on peace and on defense and on NATO in Europe, you have to understand that there is a discrepancy between what is said and what is done. So don't take literally, but take seriously. That's my message.
That's very difficult to do, because that means you're second guessing yourself.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. We live in unpredictable times. And if the driver for President Trump is America first, our job is to say, that's all good and well, but please, Europe second.
Or shouldn't in Europe you be saying Europe first? Shouldn't Europe first have its own policy of equivalence on that?
Well, I think there are many issues where we have to do that. Of course, defense and taking care of our own security is one of them, but it just doesn't happen sort of overnight. The second one is peace. We need to make sure that it's, peace of strength, position of strength, and with Ukraine and with Europe. So it's going to vary from issue to issue.
So what did you make of Marco Rubio, the new Secretary of State? What did you make of his comments where he says, look, there are no good options? Do you accept that Russia will probably end this war with territorial gains?
I accept what Ukraine accepts. And for me, there are three key principles. And I say this as a Finn. Number one is independence. Number two is sovereignty, so the right for Ukraine to decide whether they want to join NATO and or the EU. And the third one is territorial integrity. And believe me, I say this with all seriousness. I'm not going to lecture Ukraine on territorial integrity. Finland lost 10% of its land in the Winter War and the War of Continuation. We also lost our sovereignty. In other words, we were not able to be in the institutions that we wanted to be. And I never, ever want that predicament to happen to Ukraine. And I think what makes me optimistic in this, Donald Trump needs to win this war.
What does that mean?
It means that the deal that comes out of this needs to be good for Ukraine.
Right, but I don't want to push you down a road that's difficult. But if Donald Trump is wanting to put forward a solution that Ukraine doesn't want to accept, and the US president wants to push it, where does Europe stand?
I think what you'll probably see is very close cooperation and communication between the United States and Ukraine. And they will be the ones who together do the settlement. And then Europe follows. But I do believe that there should be no peace above Europe either.
Let's talk about the issue of European competitiveness. Mm-hmm. Guess what I'm going to say? The Draghi report.
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody's quoting it. Everybody says, the Draghi report, Draghi report. But really got to get on and do it.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think, we don't have demography on our side. We've been talking about competitiveness for 25 years. You and I probably have.
Absolutely.
Get some old tapes from Davos. Europe needs to be the most competitive nation in the world. And here we come to Juncker, former president of the European Commission. We all know what to do, but we don't know how to do it and get re-elected. I think Europe needs to get serious about competitiveness and focus on some key issues and then sort of plow it through.
Choose your weapon.
Okay. I'll go red today. Ooh, yeah, why not?
The next 4 years in one word.
Okay. This is a little bit counterintuitive coming from me, but it's going to be disorder.
Oh, hang on. Is that a word?
It is.
I'm not going to disagree with the president. Okay, what does that mean in this context?
It means that the world order is changing.
Right.
And we are in an in-between period.
Right.
We've gone from multilateral order to multipolar disorder. And it'll take a few years actually for it to settle. I think if I come back next year, it's going to be disorder again. But when I come back in 2030, it's going to be the rebalancing of a new world order.
Is it a pejorative?
I don't
is it a
know.
state of-
It's
just a
very transactional. So what you'll see is sort of these unholy alliances being formed on sometimes unholy issues all around the world. So that's why I do agree. Someone says they're unpredictable is pretty close to truth as well.